Are you thinking of moving to Colorado? Well, you're not alone. Over the past few years, Colorado's population has reached an all-time high with nearly 5.8 million residents. The state has been a relocation hotspot for the past 20 years and has only slowed down recently. But historically, since the US has started doing the census, Colorado has never had a negative growth year. With such rapid growth, a lot can change in just a few months. Even if you visited the Centennial State recently, you'll be surprised by just how much things have changed. With all the cool cities, outdoor activities, ski towns, thriving food scene, and breweries, Colorado has a lot to offer. If you're planning to make the move to Colorado this year, here are the top things you need to know. Mountains. Many transplants to Colorado come for the outdoors but stay for the mountains. The Rocky Mountains are one of the most iconic ranges in America, and the state has some of the most famous peaks, like Pikes Peak, which inspired the song America the Beautiful. The mountains are no joke though. They are as beautiful as they are treacherous. Every year on the news, you hear of many people that find themselves in trouble in the mountains, even the most outdoorsy or prepared. Whether it's winter or summer, the mountains are unpredictable at best. Housing market. Saying that Colorado's housing market is crazy is a bit of an understatement. With about 250,000 people moving to Colorado every year, there's a high demand and often low supply. Good apartments for rent can be hard to find, so when you do find one, jump on it right away. And if you see a home that you want to purchase, don't wait to put in an offer, otherwise you could lose out on it in a couple of hours, seriously. When we secured our apartment in Boulder, we put a down payment sight unseen. And the same thing actually happened when we purchased our home in Colorado Springs. We put in an offer without even seeing it in person yet. We had to base our decision on the real estate agent's feedback on the house. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. High altitude. Anywhere you visit in Colorado, expect to have a change in elevation. Sometimes this means gaining, while other times this means losing elevation. And if you do it too quickly, it could cause altitude sickness. And these symptoms of altitude sickness are very similar to the flu. Headache, nausea, dizziness, and fatigue, so make sure you take time to adjust to the altitude. Don't overexert yourself too quickly, give your body time to adjust. And the biggest advice that I can give is hydrate. Be sure to properly eat and hydrate at every chance you get, and drink more water than you would expect that you would need. It is extremely easy to get dehydrated in Colorado, but especially in the Rocky Mountains. But drinking lots of water can help you avoid altitude sickness. Scenic Views. One thing that should be noted though, is that not every city in Colorado is close to the mountains or has a mountain view. Obviously, there's going to be those mountain towns that is going to be completely surrounded by mountains on all sides. And if you're moving to a mountain town along the Front Range, like the larger cities like Denver or Colorado Springs, you will likely see the mountains regularly. But many of the newer areas and suburbs are much further out east where the views are marginal or obstructed by some large natural landmark or otherwise. Weather. Overall, the state of Colorado sees about 67 inches of snow blanketed each year, with mountain towns obviously receiving more and other cities along the Front Range seeing less. Throughout the year, Colorado receives more than 300 days of sun, and in the summer each year, Colorado has plenty of warm days with an average temperature in the 80s for July. Thankfully though, there is low humidity so it never gets too hot here. But with all 4 seasons prominently featured each year, the weather can change quickly no matter what time of year it is, so you always have to be prepared. The weather in Colorado can change in an instant. One day it can be hot and you'll be wearing shorts, and the next day the forecast will have hints of snow and you'll need multiple layers of clothing. Always watch the weather closely and keep an extra jacket or pair of boots in your car at all times. Even gearing for all 4 seasons wouldn't be a bad idea. It's also smart to keep a bottle of travel sunscreen in your first aid kit to put on your face and your arms when you need it. Coloradans can get some really weird tan lines due to the sun reflecting off the snow and burning you in random places. Strong economy. Colorado has a very strong economy that shows no signs of slowing down. Currently, it is ranked 5th overall for the strongest state economy, and US News named Colorado the 5th most business-friendly state in America. The state is very welcoming towards business owners and has lots of different programs for startups and entrepreneurs looking for a healthy work-life balance. With bike-to-work days and tube-to-work days in different cities within the state, finding a healthy work-life balance is all part of the daily routine. Time outside the office is just as much encouraged as time inside the office. Truly, here in Colorado do people try to find that work-life balance. Traffic and crowds. recent survey shows that Colorado was named the most desirable state to live in. Denver was named one of the best travel destinations in the world by Lonely Planet, and according to the new rankings from US News and World Report, Colorado Springs has been nominated as the most desirable city in the country. With all that popularity and press comes the sprawl. The towns are filling up with people and getting bigger, with more infrastructure and less nature. This often means more traffic and more crowds to contend with. And this is something that natives and locals hate. We hear this all the time, from comments on YouTube to email messages. Some locals don't want more people moving here, but not everybody feels that way. Colorado is part of the US, and it's available for everyone to choose to live here. It's the land of opportunity after all. Food scene. The Colorado food scene, particularly in Denver, is growing and developing in its own unique style and cuisine. In fact, Colorado is establishing itself as being just as dignified as any other state in the country when it comes to food. And many of the Colorado restaurants are from James Beard Award winners and nominees, as well as top chef contestants. From Rocky Mountain oysters to green chilies on everything, we recommend ordering your next meal Colorado style to see if you like it. Nature and outdoors. Colorado has some of the most beautiful and naturally rugged landscape in the country. You can expect to see it all here, from mountains, plains, deserts, lakes, valleys, rivers, peaks, scenic byways, and everything in between. There's always a natural wonder to explore here. 1/3 of the land in Colorado is government owned and is protected, so it stays naturally wild and untamed. There's also unique outdoor events and concerts hosted here every year thanks to special places like the iconic Red Rocks Amphitheater near Denver. Location. Since Colorado is centrally located in the middle of the United States, it makes it easy for traveling. The state is centrally located next to many other popular states that are within driving distance, including Utah and Wyoming. There are countless national and state parks to explore, and numerous campgrounds for fun day trips and outdoor excursions. Or jump on a train and get to Aspen, Vail, or Beaver Creek with just in a few hours. Or if you're traveling internationally, Denver makes it easy thanks to Denver International Airport. So whether you're seeking a fun day trip or just want to jump on a plane, you can do so without a lot of hassle. Beer. If you love beer, you're going to love living in Colorado. Colorado has some of the purest water in the country. And what is the main ingredient in beer? Water. Colorado is home to the 4th most breweries per capita in the United States and has over 400 established breweries, from craft beer to microbreweries. It's also home to the largest brewery in the world, the Coors Brewery. And the city of Fort Collins is considered the state capital for beer, as it produces 70% of Colorado's craft beer and over 7% of the total beer in all of the US. Taxes. Another appealing part of moving to Colorado are the state taxes. Colorado has the lowest tax of all the states that actually charges sales tax. It has low property tax and a flat 4.63% state income tax rate at the time of this recording. Is Colorado the absolute cheapest when it comes to state taxes? No, but the taxes are relatively budget friendly and are pretty decent compared to other states. Pet friendly. When people are searching for the most dog-friendly cities, they typically stumble across towns in Colorado. People here love their pets so much that the state is ranked number 2 as the best pet-friendly state, only coming second to Oregon. And in Colorado, domestic abuse applies to victims as well as animals, and veterinarians are required by law to report abuse to a pet. The state also has a plethora of dog parks. In fact, Denver alone has 12 designated off-the-leash dog parks within the city limits. And businesses in Colorado are very open to pets too, dogs especially, with restaurants often having dog-specific treats on their menus. Healthy lifestyle. Colorado residents live a very healthy lifestyle. Many people that move here are doing so to seek out and enjoy an active outdoor life. The Square State is ranked in the top 10 healthiest states and boasts the lowest obesity rate in the country. It also has the lowest diabetes rate for both adults and kids, with only 7% of Colorado's population receiving this diagnosis. It's easy to keep yourself busy with the amount of things to do outdoors, like mountain biking, hiking, fishing, swimming, skiing, snowboarding, ice fishing, camping, stargazing. We could go on and on. If you can't find something fun to do outdoors in Colorado, well, you're not really trying hard enough. Marijuana culture. Yep, we said it. Depending on which city you choose to live in Colorado, the retail sale of marijuana is a normal thing. Since before it has been legalized, the Square State has had a pot culture that is alive and well. And it's likely that some of your friends, neighbors, co-workers, or even family members will purchase marijuana on occasion. It's not considered really taboo at all. And if you didn't grow up here, it's something that you never really get used to, but it does become the norm. Some people even move to Colorado simply to enjoy this recreational drug, while others are okay living near it, but choose not to participate. Fortunately, there are many cities in Colorado, such as Colorado Springs, that do not allow the retail sale of marijuana within the city limits. So if you want to purchase this drug for recreation, or even medical purposes, or you want to avoid it entirely, all of these things will come into play when it comes to choosing your best place to live in Colorado. If you're looking for a new state to live in, we highly recommend checking out Colorado. After being born and raised here my whole life, I can't imagine calling any other place home. Or if you've moved to Colorado recently, leave a comment and tell us your experience. It will help out other people when it comes to deciding whether or not to make the move to Colorado.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to show your support. And to get new videos from us every week, be sure to hit that subscribe button.